Day 0, baby. I wanted to rip. There was a single entry small contest I was playing over this Day 0 stream. Looks like that shit already filled. So, planning on doing a sprint. That'll be the majority of the drafts that I do on these draft every day things. But Day 1 likely won't start until July 7th. We got a bit of a ways to go. July 7th will be the official start date for this at least one draft a day nonsense. Now, let me see. Let me just do a schnauzer. Get something on the books. Show you how a real draft guy does it. I already maxed out the first schnauzer. That's the bigger problem with the sprint, especially this early. That's why I like it. Nobody's drafting. I think there's so much of it. Thought process being King Henry is the anomaly of all anomalies, and I honestly,
No matter what
some of
kind
my
of work
buddies
your
really
team
like
does,
if he's
Asana
running
can help
King
manage it.
Henry.
From project intake to campaign management to strategic planning and more, Asana works for
I
you.
like that a lot more.
Try it for free today
Eliminator,
at
though, which
asana.com.
my buddy really likes.
It's not a game. I'm not a robot, and I challenge you. I'm not a phantom. I'm in your face. I'm here to see you through. Right before your eyes.
Not until the next big
Watch us multiply.
too worried about it.
Got the slimmer right. It's
Guys gotta see this guy play. If you're gonna give me a Kuto 12, I'll take it. I love neighbors. Love it to death. Genti at 10 is... I mean, that's Astro Genti for you. I love Genti. Wasn't able to get him in any Dynasty leagues because my boys are assholes. Got out-tanked in one league by Meech. Robbie and his crew of cats would trade him to me, at least not yet. Alright, I mean, I'll take, yeah, I think you just take ETG plays Indy. I know it's been who else I'm taking. Honestly, people are cowards. You're playing the big one. You need Nico and that. I'm happy to do that. Also, the Baltimore thing is better. Maybe. And I mean, I'd love the Lamar reach out to be at 25 if they can chase at 1. I think it's crazy enough to work. Either way, this is probably the main one. Like, I'm gonna want to take Herbert and Stroud. If not both of them, at least one of them. We'll probably not go that. Houston has Arizona. Chargers have Dallas, which I love. I love picking them up. Let's see here again. Where are
And I just wait for brain. Try to fight them dead.
usually if I have an angle on like a team, I just load up all the players I possibly want in the queue, just so I can have an idea of the later picks I'm going to be selecting at. But with this one, I don't want to angle for Herbert or Stroud this early without... Well, no, I kind of need
And you know we were out there.
essentially betting on this
Hard and lights in
last year
the
wild card
making.
game.
Going
Or at least the
hard
high
for the taking.
So,
And we know we're life for change.
first round.
And our voices ring out here.
I don't want to feel
Took the last
tip
hope to
myself.
be free.
Yeah, with the Herbert's such like an efficient quarterback. He's not the best in like a BBM, but I think he really helps your advance rate just by giving you that low, either high end 2 or low end 1 QB production. There's no way it happens, but if Higgins were to fall 9 picks, then you can thoroughly justify the Lamar wonky angle. And then you would just take like Stroud as your backup to have really good quarterbacks just kind of coast off of 2. I don't hate that. Not going to happen though. All right, let's see here. I already have that game stack. I don't necessarily have to push for anything there. Houston is the Arizona. Las Vegas. And then we have Dallas, KC. I personally like taking 15 and 16 ones. Like I know it's supposed to be all about 17. You're putting yourself in this contest only for the high roll, but I mean, if you're stuck at a pick, don't know what to take, just lean on 15 and 16, help out your advance rate a little bit potentially. Could take Worthy. I mean, JSN plays who? Carolina. I mean, I've done this before. If JSN falls, you just have 2 game stacks, and it's kind of nice. Just take JSN Ted, and you have 2 game stacks of wide receiver early and a boatload of options. All right, don't get that. I think I am gonna take Worthy, just because I can. And Denver's another easy kind of game stack to take late. KC plays Houston 15. Or no, KC plays Chargers 15. Question is, who else here? Brees, I don't really love. He would open up someone else later. I'm fine with just taking Evans. Mike Evans is the Week 17 god. And it's just another bye to work in. Feeling really comfortable at wide receiver now. What are we looking at? 50 or 60, 61, 84, 85. Alright. 60. What are we thinking here? Someone took Lamar at 34. Oh. See, this Henry Lamar double, I think this is way better in Eliminator. I mean, in Schnauzer, it's $3 draft. You can do whatever you want, because that is a unique line. But like in BestBall Mania, I don't love that. You're banking on a lot. Like, you're banking on like what, at least 5 rushing touchdowns combined out of the 2 of them or something. Like, if Henry gets 3 TDs, but then Lamar doesn't do anything, you're kind of cooked, in my mind. But in Eliminator, betting on the Baltimore rushing offense weekly is a pretty safe bet to take to the bank. All right, let's look at this. So, I mean, this is why having that up earlier. Like, I could have gone Brees and then had Travion for a game stack 17. Felt pretty comfortable at running back, and then kind of wide receiver late. With Tampa Bay, I am going to queue up the Miami fellas. At least, yeah, if Waddle were to fall, then you could just close out wide receiver. Only other one would be the late running backs, backups. Otherwise, I'm not really going to be targeting Tua unless he heavily falls. And then KC is Denver. Could take RJ Harvey at 60. I don't hate that at all. I'm iffy on him, to be honest, but I mean, he's a high upside pick, which is what you want, especially in a $3 draft. Evan Ingram is weird to me. Like, I'm never going to take Evan Ingram at like 110 when I could take a bunch of other tight ends that are equivalent in what I perceive as fantasy production much later. Unless, of course, you're like heavily stacking KC Denver, which if you are, all to you. Alright. Give me a sec to stack all these up. Sutton's not going to make it, but you know, chance he does. Let's not forget about him. Yeah, so I'm thinking hopefully we get Harvey at 60. That'll really make up for the KC thing, and then I mean, we have 2 KC games across the playoff. I'm not going to heavily target Tennessee. Don't view this as like a let's now push for Mahomes angle. I'm just going to take Herbert or Stroud here. Be happy with that. I mean, talk about closing out wide receiver. I would take that. That would have to force, yeah, I'd have to force heavy Chargers if I do that, because then I was going to say I'd have to heavy force Chargers because I'd have Worthy for 15, Pickens for 16, and then Collins for 17, so I'd really be betting on the Chargers on their playoff. Let me skip this. This isn't the... Alright.
You want high performance?
Ad, you son of a button. Alright. Yeah, Harvey, feel great about that. Cool. Not going to get him. Alright. We're going to have to think fast here. I mean, I could double up Godwin. Tampa Bay, running wild. I think what I likely have to do is take Kamara. And then I'm probably... I mean, he sits so early, Baker. 92. With no Miami backing me up. You know what? It's just weird enough to work. Let's do it. And then we take one of them too as the backup. It is just strange enough to work. Let me get this music back jumping. Alright. So yeah, we kind of desperately need to take Baker now. Let me queue up the other quarterbacks. No buy overlap, which is great. I honestly don't want this towel thing. Alright, here we go. We're looking at 84, 85, 110-ish. Alright, so we just take Baker at 84, 85, and then 125, 136. What are we looking at? 25, 136. Alright. Either Herbert falls, which would be fine with, but I'm fine with taking Stroud. So we're chilling there. And we kind of coast off those 2 quarterbacks. Now we gotta figure out. I might be forced to. Oh, I hate that. I mean, hey, it's a weird line, but it might do enough just to get me there. Is there any other Tampa Bay games that I could reasonably stack avoiding ATL and Carolina? I mean, Carolina always is big shit. Algier is always a pick I like this early. Hits I'd be happy with. Yeah, I mean, we can maneuver some Tampa Bay push, at least for 15, 16, to try and get some advance rate and then avoiding 17, make a weird line like that. I am not a fan of Hubbard at 55. I mean, I don't like that at all. And I'm not afraid to say it. He's not really a pass-catching back. I like Hubbard as a player, but like Carolina brought in a bunch of different running backs. Like they still, they gave him the contract. They like him. I just think they're not gonna give him a featured role. Like I think Trevor Etienne's a pretty good pass-catching back. We'll see. Speaking of, if I'm super thin at running back, could be a very late option. Alright, 8 picks away. Looking at Baker, what else would we want to do? We do need another running back. I don't mind either of these. Honestly, taking Pacheco wouldn't be the death of me, but I'm not really forcing my hand to do that after missing out on Harvey. I mean, Judkins or Johnson are fine. Not ideal, but fine, obviously, if you're going to get him that far after. This is kind of weird to me. I mean, Debo had that video of him being fat as hell. But I'm not putting too much stock into that. Yeah, Casey, I don't Hollywood's in there too, but I'm running out of backs here. So I may just have to take the hold. Gold would have been great if we had that Baltimore angle. This is going to be a thin running back team. Hand up. Hand up to the sky. I'm never going to learn my lesson to do that, Najee Harris. We have to delay. Yeah, I'm gonna push heavy on running back later. Considering I have the angle for it, I'm just gonna take Baker as the first one. I'll figure out this other pick. Chicago, Indy, Tennessee. Probably just take Mooney. Right? Yeah. And then I'm pretty much just done at wide receiver. I mean, we can have these guys here, but they are not. Like, I doubt I'm gonna take Mims. Keep them here as a reminder, but like, we're putting a big time pause at wide receiver.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us,
get me out of here, man. Alright. We're desperate at running back, but we can push the ankle too. I mean, I also I love Ramondre that late. I think he'll still have some role. Jaden Blue fell pretty far. Arizona does have 15 matchups, so Benson's good. Dobbins on the Broncos. Fair play. Oh, Chubb did end up signing with Texans. Let's say how much? 2.5. I wouldn't worry too much about that as it regards to mixing. Not a concern of mine at all, to be honest. I've been drafting Dylan Sampson late. OD. Why did Brian Robinson get shot again? Why is he falling so far? Who am I angling for at tight end? That's a big question. I might be forced to take Jonah. Especially now that I took Mooney. Like, if I was able to get another running back I liked at 85, I would have pushed off Jonah, but I doubt that I can bring myself to do that, though, to be completely honest. He's definitely going to get traded, too. Alright, who else do we angle for? I mean, Pitts, yeah. We'll take that. Schultz, most likely. We'll probably take a Stroud. guess I could take Ingram for that Casey game stack, but it's only pick I'm not like rushing to make. And yeah, any running back that falls here, I'll happily take. Najee, I'd be more than happy with. Not far from a fantastic running back to have on this team, but I'm already invested in the Chargers, so could be a lot worse. Gives me some extra exposure to the Houston LAC game, especially if I take Schultz much later. We don't need none of this. Too many ads. Alright. I'm kind of forced to take Scatterboo here. They do play, I believe they play Houston at some point. Or am I just talking out of my ass? I'm talking out of my ass. They don't play Houston. But still, I mean, I do love Charbonnet. I didn't get the Carolina game, otherwise that'd be better. I have no other. I mean, I have like 0 Scatterboo shares, so might as well get some exposure to it. Arguably, I mean, Javante's the better pick, just because I took Najee, but I don't want to. It's a risky endeavor because I just am not confident that Herbert falls. If Herbert does fall, hold up. If Herbert does fall, Javonte would have, in my opinion, been the much better pick. I mean, don't get me wrong, Javante's a mixed bag. Another running back I may never learn from in terms of always believing in him, kind of getting the short end of the stick. But I have 0 Scatterboo, so I'm fine with getting 1 share here in a admittedly weird lineup. Alright, so yeah. Next pick, one of them's either going to be Herbert or Stroud. What happened to my music? Oh, I muted it from the ad. That's what happened. Alright. Honestly, if it does happen, we do have Javen Blue as a backup. I'd much prefer Stroud to Herbert, but maybe that's asking. They're probably the same. Benson's also not bad. Selection. They play Houston 15. Any handcuff this early, I'm gonna be targeting a lot heavier. That's kind of why I have just Kamara. Like, we're so early drafting. Like, the handcuffs to me have a much more premium and value. Don't get me wrong, you're fishing with dynamite, trying to hope that you just like bank a random one because there's no way to predict which one it's going to be. But it's hard for me to go with a RB heavy approach unless I'm kind of heavily incentivized to do it in the draft. Speaking of this early, that's another reason why I love these $3 drafts this early. You can get a picture of ADP. Just, if you like drafting like I do a $3 one. You don't gotta be pushing for expensive ass ones this early. And get your exposure to that this of the season. Alright. No. Let's see here. Does Herbert make it or we want to try? Herbert, then it has to be blue. If it's Stroud, then I think it kind of has to be ice. I mean, this is another reason why I'll go look back and see what, like, instead of Godwin could have been, but like this right here, getting both of them at these two picks and not having Baker, maybe taking like a running back here instead of Baker could have made the lineup a lot better, but like I think if you have a chance for a team to make double, you just kind of roll with it. Yeah. Let's go Herbert and blue. I mean, if you're a Stroud fan, there's nothing to say you couldn't go Stroud and Benson, but being kind of indifferent to which one it is, I'm just going to take the higher ADP one. We also kind of like, Baker is hopefully your high-end guy. I think they're kind of the same thing. Like, I don't think Stroud is going to massively pop off this season. His receiving core is also a heavy amount of change. But we'll see what happens. I'm also, like, Herbert's just a damn good quarterback. I'll give him his flowers more. Alright. Knowing, though, that we are Chargers heavy. Are there any... Yeah, I'd probably do it to target for Ferguson. Who drafted Ferguson? Oh, 36, okay. Ferguson's a tight end I really like. But we do now have a very thin tight end pool, which is no concern in my eyes. I really don't think the mid-range tight ends, unless you fully believe them to be tight end one, somehow pop off like this. Like, I don't see the point in drafting Dallas Goedert here when you can take Gesicki, Freiermuth, Strange. I don't think the tight end angle is going to have just take Conklin out late. Try and find a way to hold this. Running back is still a suspect. You don't have to worry about receiver much at all. Receiver or quarterback. It's pretty much just running backs, tight ends take a late round wide receiver, unless they fall pretty heavy. Looking at 56. 56, and yeah, hopefully we get hits. Dobbins wouldn't be the worst. Dobbins could also justify taking like Strange. Game there, 16. What can I do if I took Roshan? Roshan would be good if I took Ayuk there. I could say, look at what I could have done instead. Instead of Connor, respectfully, it could have been Connor, but yeah, no, Cincinnati for 17. Yeah, there's not much in the way of stacking. I mean, a lot of it would have made sense since I took Kamara, just like double over the game, but then I have to push Tennessee like very hard. It's certainly a weird line that Tampa Bay line in Miami. Like, what are we even talking about here? You know? But it is what it is. We love Algier here. Alright, who else would we take? Just take Roshan, figure out the rest. I mean, I don't. If I had like a Dallas player or anything, well, I do have Scatteroo. I draft Eckler a lot, admittedly.
Open your eyes
We
bigger.
have a 12. We have a
Panorama by
5.
L'Oreal Paris. A multi-level bristle brush to patch
I'll
every
take
single
Eckler.
lash. Corner to corner. Bigger. Wider.
No, I won't. Because
See
I'm
life
probably
in
going to take
panorama. Because you're worth it.
Wright or Gordon for the final one. And run a very strange 7 running back lineup. Well, Wright would have been right there. So, Ollie Gordon, last pick. I just think Roshan represents a much bigger upside if the starter gets hurt. Eckler's not going to get, like, full feature in my eyes. I can't believe someone took Pitts. I'm heavily out on tight end. It's where I like to live, though. I like to live on no tight end island, to be fair. Cincinnati play. Can't really justify that. Can if I need to, though. Admittedly. Otten, for sure. Yeah, I think I might just be taking 3 shitter tight ends, which admittedly is not like what I love to do, but it's what I might have to do. Concord wouldn't be bad. I do have Kamara and a KC line there. Alright, yeah. We're basically just 3 tight ends will be majority of the picks, and the last one will either be wide receiver or running back, depending on what's available. I doubt it'll be wide receiver, just considering the room that I have. Like, if Baker dies, we're dead anyway, so we kind of need these two to be fairly good and great throughout most of the season, and then supported by the rest of this, which should be fairly good. So, let's organize here. It is probably going to be Otten Schultz. Right, we are 80, 81, 204, 205. Yeah, it's probably just those two. And then reevaluate. Carolina, what was that angled up for? They have New Orleans, Tampa Bay. So it wouldn't be the worst. Would I prefer him or Ollie Gordon? I like Ollie Gordon. But to be fair, I think those stats were for mid-range running backs. That pass catching, specifically yards per route run, is a great indicator. I don't know if it extends into the late, and not that Etienne would have any yards per route run stats as a rookie. Let me look at my schedule. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm looking for a Tampa Bay blowout. But somehow, Baker throwing for a lot. I don't know, man. Let's get these tight ends done. Finish up this wonky-ass draft. And get out of here. But yeah, let's see here. July 7th will be the official start date. It's day 0. Just to get it up there, get it out there. July 7th will be the official day 1. Drafting every day until the season starts. Gonna be heavily focusing more on sprints than these small schnauzers. But I might mix in a schnauzer or two here and there. Can I justify Schultz? Yeah. You have the game stack. Prey rips off a tight end. Touchdown. Tight end touchdown. Chig probably won't be there, which will be fine. We'll probably take Conklin just for another LA stack, very low end. Titan 3, I like it a lot more than some of my friends do. But like, if you're gonna go tight end 3, you kind of have to if you're taking these 3 late dudes. Just trying to survive the tight end position after ignoring it for a fair bit of the draft. Alright. I feel the running back room is not pretty by any means, but it could be a lot worse.
Interpreted the CMP.
You have Kamara.
Analyzed the ECG.
Should be Alvin
Everything's
Kamara.
within
Hopefully he
range.
doesn't get hurt.
As a
And
Navy
you kind of
doctor,
like
you've assessed vitals and cleared red flags.
mix in
A SEAL returned
shared
to
backfield. I
duty.
think
A
people are
submariner
overrating
fit for the depths.
like
Here,
how many
medicine makes
touches
the mission.
they're gonna give
Navy medicine
Hampton.
lets you focus on
Year
patients
one at
who
least.
protect us all,
I think year two
while
will
we
probably
focus
pop
on
off like
administrative hazards
crazy.
and even
But
covering
Roman
your
is a
medical school.
OC that like
Start
shares
your
backfield
mission
work
at Navy.com/medicine.
pretty
America's
significantly.
Navy. Forged
Hampton will
by the
definitely
sea.
get the lion's share of the pass catching work. Najee's not that great of a pass catcher, but Najee's still gonna get like a fair amount of carries. And then 3 handcuffs present a decent bit of upside this early drafting, and then we shall see where the draft takes us. Alright. Close this puppy out. Let's give another look at the roster here. We got Baker, Herbert, Kamara, Scadaboo, Harris, Blue, Algier, Johnson, Nico Ladd, great game stack there. Worthy, Evans, Godwin for a Tampa Bay double. Mooney, triple because of the kid. And then Schultz also stacked further off this LSU Houston matchup. We do have no Miami, which is admittedly strange, weird. Haven't done many lineups where I'm taking a fair bit of Tampa Bay and has 0 Miami. But it's just wonky enough to maybe work. So nothing saying you can't get at least one lineup that does some weird ass shit like that. Close this out with Conklin, and who I prefer out of these 3? I guess it probably is Holly. Probably. He just seems the most likely. He seems more likely to have a higher upside than being potentially this year's most. They're just heaving a bunch of touchdowns out of the Miami offense, being the big body running back that they have. And it gives me some very, very slight exposure to the game. Alright, let's close it out like that. Very strange. I rarely have a 6 wide receiver team. But maybe this is just crazy enough to work. I did go heavy wide receiver early, so if there's any draft where you're going to sit at only 6 wide receivers, it has to be one where you take a wide receiver straight through the early rounds. Alright, well that closes it out again. July 7th will be the official start date of all of this, the official, one best ball draft a day. We'll be doing sprints a lot more. Hopefully the sprint drafts kind of proceed a lot faster as we get closer to the draft. Not the draft, this season. Because right now you can sit in the sprint draft for hours waiting for that puppy to fill. So we'll see. May have to rip some schnauzers here and there if the sprint isn't filling up like you prefer by the 7th. But yeah, until July 7th, enjoy the summer, enjoy your time. Send me any questions, comment on this video if you got any best ball questions, I'll answer them for you. Until then, get those stacks, both game and team stacks, rip it heavy, and definitely do these cheap schnauzer drafts early. There's no reason to be overloading yourself on some heavy drafts this early in the season. But yeah, let's take a look through the draft board one last time, look at how it went. Let's see, before I get off of this puppy, if there's any decisions I would have switched up. I'm happy. I think not enough people do this. Taking this Houston, Los Angeles game stack at the 12-13 turn. I love Brian Thomas, but if you can do that, do it. I would have liked if, let's see where'd he go? Ted ended up going to 44. Another angle, taking game stack. If JSN was there at 36, I would have gone JSN and Ted, and then kind of pushed the rest of the draft off that. Brees over Evans certainly could have been. It would have opened up a nice game stack and really made my running back position a lot more solid if I went Brees over Evans, and then instead of Godwin taking Henderson. Would have been a lot better at the running back, most likely. But then what receiver do you take at 60 if you're likely passing off Kamara, since you're taking Henderson from those picks? I'm not entirely sure. Certainly would have been awesome if Sutton had fallen to 60 with that worthy stack. Pickens would have been... I love Pickens, especially Houston... No, Chargers play Dallas 16, so that would have been nice. But yeah, I'm happy with this. Can't be too upset about getting a Baker triple. Certainly not the angle I wanted to go. Also furthers the idea, like, hey, if I went Brees, Trevion, this pick is still in question. I would have figured something out. Who knows, though? Could have honestly... I don't know who I would have taken. I would have been struggling to figure out the second pick there, having gone through the same Trevion. Either way, at 84, you probably... you probably take Debo off of his major slide just because of an ADP affinity. And then Mooney's fine. Could have reached for Higgins, like knowing, hey, I really need this game to pop off. I really need that stack. I mean, that would have been the overarching thing, is I would have been targeting the Charger Houston receivers a lot more later if I had that more set up running back room. Because as we saw earlier, I could have gotten Herbert and Stroud at this back-to-back, which would have been awesome. Definitely attempt it again. I mean, whenever you have a good shot at it whenever you do this early, because it kind of isolates people looking to really target either of those quarterbacks. But yeah, certainly some other angles we could have taken. If Ferguson... I mean, I guess... He's 44, though. I don't think I would have made the reach that early, especially with my running back room. If we had gotten Sutton, I would have been a lot more open to taking Strange over Roshan, because I do believe they play each other 15 or 16? 16, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with it. It's a wonky $3 draft. I'm not going to overthink it. Happy where I got, a decent Tampa Bay team with some other game stacks involved, kind of pressing off of, hey, Miami kind of tunes out, or either it's, very scattered. So hopefully nobody has like a full Miami Tampa Bay stack, or the Houston Chargers game really pops off and you kind of get the best of both worlds. But that's how it went. We'll be back on July 7th with another draft. Hopefully you're there to check it out with me. Until then, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy life. Peace.